You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
From the ISR studios, it's Louis Live. And here's your host, me, and Raphael Geller. Good evening, everyone. It's Louis Live here on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Beautiful Wednesday. Thank you for choosing us to enjoy your sports afternoon, live from the Holy Land in Jerusalem. We have a great show for you today. Great guest Jim Williams will be on at 6 o'clock. At 5:30, Israeli legendary player Derek Sharp, who was kind of Mr. Basketball probably after Tal Brody. He'll be coming on the program at 5:30. And we're going to have special guest Lori Brownstone at 7 o'clock to talk about the NHL Finals between the New Jersey Devils and the Los Angeles Kings. And again, 8 seed versus a 6 seed, so it's going to be a very interesting finals. I'm not sure if a lot of people expected that, but it is what it is, and this is the teams we have. We're going to dial up our first guest of the day. You may have heard of him on my shows before because he was the co-host of my show back in the day. Andy Gershman, author of Modern Day Maccabee. So we're going to give him a call and talk to him about sports and other things as well. Hi, Andy. You're live on Louis Live at IsraelSportsRadio.com. How you doing out there?
Always an honor. Always an honor. I'm doing well.
That's good. You know, we were talking about in the green room, when is your book going to actually come out?
That would be first or second week of August, it looks like.
Oh, yeah? Okay, great. And they can get it on Amazon, right?
Yes.
All right. So we do the plug.
Anticipated.
Yeah, we do the plug at the beginning.
Right. It's all different, but, every show is different. I've been on this whirlwind tour, so, every show is different.
Did you just say wind?
Yes, I did.
Okay, great. Hey, by the way, we also, in the green room, we were talking about The Sopranos. What's your favorite Sopranos episode?
I don't have one.
Oh, are you serious?
I've never seen The Sopranos.
Wow.
Missing out. You've at least seen...
or Star Wars, for that matter.
All right, well, let's see here. I haven't seen Harry Potter or...
I haven't done that either.
Or the Matrix. I haven't seen The Matrix either. I'm one of the few people not to see it.
No, I haven't done that either.
What about
I've never... ready for this, Ari Louis?
Yeah, what's that?
I've never seen any of the Godfathers.
I was just about to ask that. Wow.
Yes.
You know,
but I have seen Field of Dreams for these 14 time lapses.
All right, what about Arliss? What's your favorite Arliss episode?
What?
Arliss, you've seen Arliss. You know, the sports agent guy?
No, but I remember that movie, Show Me the Money, or whatever it was called.
What?
He's talking about
Tom Cruise.
Jerry Maguire.
Oh, Jerry Maguire, yeah.
Jerry Maguire. Yeah, I saw that. That counts?
Yeah, that counts, I guess.
Hey, apparently Mitt Romney's won the Republican nomination. What are your thoughts?
Great. It doesn't matter to me. It has no effect on my life, I'm concerned.
But the economy's better. Your book will sell better, won't it?
What's that?
Your book will sell better if there's a better economy. People have more money to buy the book.
Oh, is that the connection I'm supposed to make?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yes. And then they will be lined up to buy ads for Israel Sports Radio.
Yeah, that'd be good. Or other ways they give us money. Go to the store, of course.
Let's stick to sports. Sorry, how does that sound? No politics.
I'm just smoozing to open up Andy, and then now we're going to go to Major League Baseball, the Nationals. Your Nationals, right? Outside of your Braves and your Red Sox.
Yeah, my Nationals swept my Braves over the weekend. That wasn't pretty at all. Nationals, they've run into that buzzsaw known as the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, everyone's really scared of the Miami Marlins. So, what?
They're in second place now.
Right.
They're tied for second. Yeah, that's true. 1.5. 28-22. Okay, I should
Mets,
give them more credit.
Are the really impressive team in this division.
Yeah, David Wright. The Mets very impressed with this division, and maybe they're playing with a bit of kind of a loose feel since no one really expected a lot out of the Mets. David Wright, of course, second in batting average, chasing the batting title there with the Mets, but Nationals still first place, 1.5 ahead of the Mets, and their pitching's been stellar. Is there any other insight you can give us on the Nationals?
But, they're going to be an interesting team because come, trade deadline when everyone's making moves, they're going to be one of those teams that really is going to start to get healthy. They're going to have a logjam in the outfield because Morse is going to come back. Worth is going to come back. They've got, Ankiel, Harper. It's going to be interesting to see how Davey Johnson's going to shuffle those guys around to make sure everybody gets some playing time. You've got Storen going to come back in July. Brad Lidge should be back. So if they get healthy, they've lost 2 catchers, which is, just bizarre in itself. But they should, they should be able to hold this out. It'll be interesting to see how. I think the stat I heard was last year. Was it I'm trying to think, 5 of the 6 teams in first place on Memorial Day made the playoffs.
So, basically, Memorial Day, there's not going to be much of a trend or a change afterwards.
Right. I mean, that was as of last year. But I think it holds pretty close. Now, I mean, you look at, I don't know, the Mets. The thing with David Wright, you guys realize that the joke that, it's not a joke. The Mets, they moved their fence up. Did you know that this year?
Yeah, just we talked about that last night with a guest that was partisan of that David Wright's have a little bit easier time hitting the baseball this season.
Right, David Wright. They moved it in for David Wright and for Jason Bay. I mean, that was the reason they moved it in. So, I don't know. Kind of a weird thing. I don't think the Mets can hold it. It seems to me, when you look around, some of the teams are starting to take their rightful place. You see the Toronto Blue Jays in last place, second to last place, taking their rightful place. The surging Red Sox.
The last place Red Sox? Last place Red Sox?
Get themselves out of the cellar. The Yankees are once again proving they can't beat a good team. The Rays are the scary team, I think, in that division. The Central is just a mess. I don't know that anyone wants to win that division.
Well, going to East is interesting. Then, all 5 teams in the East are above 500.
What's that?
All 5 teams in the East are above 500. Only 3.5 games separates all the 5 teams.
Same with the NL East, Ari.
And then it's also right. Everyone's over 500. 4 games separates everyone there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, those are, you look, it's funny how this debate I've started seeing around Red Sox Nation is that, Theo got all the credit, but Duquette left Theo in a much better place than Theo left Carrington. And, let's see, the Cubs are 17-32, so not sure what Wonder Boy's doing in Chicago.
Wonder Boy. Hey, he's not a boy now. He's even older than me. I think he's 33 or something.
32, I think.
32?
33, 34.
Well, which means you realize, Ari, that he was always older than you. He doesn't jump you at some point.
That's true.
Right. How do I want to say that?
The way you said it, you're like, he's now older than me. It's like, I think he was always.
Well, I guess
you don't get extra years just because you're the GM, do you?
Well, I think you age if you're the GM of the Cubs, so that way you do get older.
Well, because look at your fan base. Never mind, we won't go there.
Colin Cowherd had a great point about the Cubs that people could go to Wrigley Field and not tell you who's on the field. They're not really interested in who's played. They're just going to Wrigley Field and having a good time. But that actually hurts the Cubs because they play day games, and not a lot of free agents want to come there and play day games in the heat of the summer. And when you play a day game, you have to get up at 7 in the morning to drive to the stadium at batting practice, and it really messes up their schedules because these ball players like to stay out late and have a good time.
Especially in Chi-Town.
Right, Chicago's a fun city.
Fun city.
So it really hurts the Cubs that they have Wrigley Field, and it detracts them from getting top free agents. So what are your thoughts about that? Those are Colin Cowherd's points, though.
I don't know. It seems ridiculous to me. Wouldn't it make more sense that you'd want to come and be the first, you're on a team, the first to win a World Series in 100 years? You'd never have to buy another drink in Chicago.
Yeah, but
years.
What are the chances that's ever going to happen?
Oh, it's going to happen. I mean, statistics say it's going to happen. Soon, who knows? But, I mean, it's got, look, Toronto won. So that shows you anything can happen.
Wow. Hey, if I may add, they won back-to-back. Who was the last team to do that?
The last team to win back-to-back?
Besides the Yankees. Exactly.
Yankees? What do you mean besides the Yankees? I mean, it's like, hey, who was the last guy to hit 4 home runs except for Josh Hamilton. I mean, when you throw out the last guy?
In the last 20 since 93 or 90, whenever when they
92,
won.
93,
93. Besides the Yankees, who else has won
No,
twice?
Rafi's got a point. It's
no
true.
one.
It's only 2 teams in the last 20 years have won back-to-back World Series titles.
Including my Jays.
Right. That's a great. You know what? You can hang your hat on that because your team's been irrelevant ever since. So,
Oh, man. Irrelevant?
You know,
I don't know if I would say the word irrelevant, Andy.
Except for Jose Batista. And
Carlos Delgado?
Delgado.
Carlos Delgado, Roy Halladay.
Actually, the 96
okay,
Henry won the
but
Cy
as a
Young.
team, they've been irrelevant. Can we agree on that? No? I mean, they've been either last place or second to last place since then.
We were in third place
Yeah?
a couple of years ago. We were in third place
All
a couple
right.
of years ago.
Congratulations. Congratulations. You win the We're Not the Yankees or Red Sox award. Now being held by the Tampa Bay Rays. So, yeah, I mean, look, you know, I think the Nats have all the talk around here, of course, is Nats and the Orioles. I think the Nats still look better down the road. I mean, the bigger issue is going to be, you know, Strasburg and how long he lasts because, you know, he's their losing streak, you know, stopper. And if they have to shut him down earlier than they think, then that could be a problem.
Andy, what are your thoughts on Jones getting that huge contract for essentially having one good half season or quarter season, I guess, an all-star appearance?
You know, I think they had to do it,
Right.
Because they're still having major attendance issues in Baltimore.
Right.
And I think they had to prove to their fan base that they were serious. You know, I was listening yesterday. One of the shows had Cal Ripken Jr. on. I mean, and he was like, "Look, you know, he kind of felt the same way that they've got to prove." But he said it doesn't. You can sign all the Adam Joneses you want. If the pitching doesn't hold up, then it doesn't really matter. The thing is, I mean, you look at both teams. The contract, what was it, 6 years, $86 million, I think.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I can't remember what Zimmerman's was also a 6-year, wasn't it? But it was much more in dollars. So it was a decent contract, but yeah, I mean, like you said, it's based on basically 1 year.
Right. No, you're right, though, because, I mean, someone was going to give him money like that, and you'd rather keep him, let him go. I mean, it's a big trend now in sports where these guys get so much money just because they want to keep him. It's not even maybe that they're worth that. It's just, that's a good example, a great example. DeAndre Jordan hasn't really done that much in his career on the Clippers, of course, and Golden State was going to give him $60-70 million, and the Clippers knew they had to keep him, so they matched it. But this year he didn't average double-digit points, not double-digit rebounds. So that's what you were saying. I mean, that's a new thing in sports where you have to kind of give money because the market now has gotten. I mean, when Jason Worth gets $127 million for being the fourth or fifth best player in Philly during their little run, that's a bit scary.
But that was done for the same reason, because the learners had to prove that they were serious about, you know. And you watch, the Nats are going to have to do that this offseason as well. They're going to have to overspend for a couple of guys in the offseason, because they still need some power on that team.
Mm-hmm.
They have no real power. I mean, you know, but it is interesting to watch them with the little spark plug Bryce Harper, because you've started to see guys really step up their game so that he doesn't make them look stupid. You know, I mean, like I don't know, the guy's got like 3 or 4 triples already. I mean, how often, you know, and you see guys taking wider turns at first to maybe stretch it out to get a double like he's doing, you know, and so yeah, but they're gonna need power. I mean, when Adam LaRoche is your power,
mm-hmm.
you know,
that's
you know,
a problem. Not only that, he's leading the team in batting average with 280 or something, 275.
Right.
And
yeah, Zimmerman has never gotten going at all, and he was hurt there. So we'll see. Hey, Ari.
Yes. What's up?
I know you're a big conspiracy theorist. So I have to know: does David Stern give this first pick to Michael Jordan?
Oh yeah, of course. There's no doubt about that. The audience agrees with that too. Of course, he gave it to him in 2001. Michael just was an idiot.
Ruined
drafted
it.
Kwame Brown.
Right.
But hey, Kwame Brown was traded for Pau Gasol.
Right. The thing is, Andy, I wanted to ask you: is this number one pick a little overrated? I've been making that argument on the show. I don't think Anthony Davis is going to be as good as everyone thinks, or if he is, it might take a long time. I mean, he's not an offensive guy; he's a defensive guy. So is the number one pick that valuable? That's the question.
I don't know. He's a big guy.
He is a big guy.
Ask the Celtics how they're doing without a big man. I know I'd like to see him in Washington. I think you could build a team in Washington if you had him, and you had you have Wall, Nene, and Davis. That's a pretty good. That's three decent players. Could be. I don't know. Look, Washington is the second best chance of getting the number one overall. But who knows? The draft is always weird, but you can't. That's why Sam Bowie was taking over Jordan. You can't teach height.
Right, that's true, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. It's an interesting draft. I mean, if you look at the draft number 1 through number 15, there's a lot of really, really talent. Perry Jones. Some people are saying Harrison Barnes could be the best player out of the draft.
Right.
Came out of high school. I think.
Do you buy into any of the conspiracy that the league could push this pick over to New Jersey?
And go to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Interesting, because you might need a team.
Considering they didn't get Dwight Howard or yet, and Darren Williams could be offered a massive contract by
Jay-Z.
No, by Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban, right?
To return to Dallas. I mean, they're going to move to Brooklyn with nothing. It's funny because they were talking about this morning here that basically they feel like Stern's going to walk into the room and say, "All right, here's the deal: the Nets are getting the first pick, 2 through 14. We'll figure it out in the lottery."
Right.
So,
no, it's a good point.
It could be.
Stern's only fixed a couple of lotteries. He fixed Ewing in '85, frozen envelope. The Jordan 2001, Kwame Brown. What was the other one? Shaq. Penny Hardaway. Although he wasn't number one, Chris Webber was number one in '94. He's only fixed a couple. I mean, is he ready to fix another one?
Listen,
he is. I think so.
The Nets owner is, I think, the richest owner in all of sports. I think 18.
The Russian guy.
The Russian guy ran for president or tried to. 19 billion net worth. So if he sneaks, David Stern is a fellow Jew. So if he sneaks him a nice envelope with a few $1 million, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's funny. After the first 8 picks, the percentages drop like huge.
Right.
I don't even know where New Jersey finished. I think they were outside of the top 5, though, right? Or bottom 5, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm going to double check that.
They were that good that year, or not that good, but I thought. We'll find out. But while I was doing that, Andy, what are your thoughts on the Spurs just dominating basketball?
I think it's unbelievable. I mean, Game 3 is sort of like Game 7 for Oklahoma.
Thunder. Yeah.
If they don't win, I'm just shocked. It's like I don't know if they get swept. All the talk you hear, because I am not a LeBron hater.
Me neither.
All the talk you hear about LeBron and his choking and everything, I mean, you know, Durant, how long has he been in the league? 3 years now?
4 years, I think. No, 5.
He was in the
4
Greg
years?
Oden draft.
07.
What's that?
07.
07 draft with Oden, right?
Yeah, number 2 pick.
Okay, so this is his,
Fifth year.
fourth or fifth?
Fifth year.
Fifth year.
Fifth year. Now, by year 5, I believe LeBron was being swept by San Antonio in the finals.
Actually, it's fourth year.
Fourth year, yeah. Daniel Gibson
Fourth
had
year.
that run, too.
So, you know, it'll be interesting to see, the perception that's out there of Durant. Because Durant is looked at as such the good guy, the anti-LeBron, the good guy because he stayed in Oklahoma. But, you know, in the end, he's got to win, too.
Right, and I mean, he still could also leave. I mean, he still has, I think he has a contract for 5 more years, but he'll still be 28 or 29 when that's over.
Right,
30.
exactly. First of all. Second of all, I mean, last night, San Antonio was literally putting on a basketball clinic. I mean, it was like, just the way they were cutting and passing was just unbelievable. Backdoors and, I mean, the Thunder just didn't know what hit them. I mean, they turned the game into a free throw shooting contest in the third quarter, which was just absurd. But yeah, I tell you, San Antonio was at 20 in a row now.
Right.
It's, I mean, where does this life and energy come from? I mean, think about it, Ari Louis. You picked them not to win,
not to make the playoffs
not
last
to
year.
make the playoffs last year, and they did and then got eliminated in the first round,
Right.
by Memphis.
That's right.
I mean, and here we are just 1 year later, and it's like people have already given them the title. And then, I mean, what does it do for Duncan? I mean, will this be his, fifth title?
His fifth title if he wins it, yeah.
99.
Yeah, so, I mean, all this talk about Kobe as the next, the greatest ever, surpassing
Jordan. Right.
Jordan, and then quietly you have Tim Duncan getting 5, and this has got to be the most impressive. I mean, at this stage of his career, and
but it's not really his team anymore. It's Tony Parker's team.
No, it's definitely Tony Parker's team.
But this,
it's definitely his team. But please,
well, how about this? This would be Tony Parker's 4th title, and he's 29.
Yeah, that's
so he could get more titles than Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, or Michael Jordan. I said it.
Right.
I said it.
All right, that's not happening.
Well,
why not?
Well, or as many as Robert Horry.
Horry has 7.
Right.
I mean, that's the only reason I want Derek Fisher and the Thunder, because I think it'd be funny if he had.
You are tuned in to
I'm
the
sorry,
only
hold
all.
on. There we go. A little early. Jumped in. But that sound means we have to.
But the other thing is, it goes against the whole league's big market, small market, right? Because San Antonio is definitely a small market team.
Right, it's one of the smallest markets.
Small market team in a big city. That's the quote that they use on PTI. Over a million.
Really?
Yeah, a million people. The 8th biggest city in America, I think.
Is San Antonio?
Yep. Look it up.
Huh.
Top 10 with San Jose.
Wow.
San Jose is also another top 10 city in America. It's a small market.
Interesting. How about the Celtics? Do they win a game or two?
Hopefully.
I think they win one game.
Maybe
they
one.
5.
KG and
Let me tell you, that game the other night, the technical fouls that were being called, just unbelievable. Did you see any of it at all? Because it was just absurd.
Yeah,
I've
was
never
crazy.
seen five technical fouls called.
Maybe the refs wanted to make the series more exciting since they knew that it was going to be over in 4.
What? No, they called them against the Celtics.
No, I know. I watched. But still, and then Doc Rivers at the end of the game kind of sounded off. But, no, you're right. I mean, it was kind of crazy. I think people right now at this point, though, maybe even the refs, media, everyone wants Spurs Heat now. And if for some reason LeBron could beat the Spurs and ruin their streak, then he goes from being the most hated and blah, 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 to maybe being the most, I don't know, what's the word, winning the most impressive title ever? Or, I don't know, something like that.
Right.
Spurs he would be so excited.
I heard someone say that, with the way the Thunder, they were hoping for a all-weather finals, the Heat and the Thunder or something like that.
Oh, God.
See,
that's why the WNBA is better, because the WNBA has a lot of weather, like the Storm, the Seattle Storm. That's a weather name.
Right. What sport was that?
WNBA, basketball. And actually, on that note, we have to wrap things up, but before we do, let's give you a chance to plug your book.
Wait. Can I say one more thing before we go?
Yeah.
Because I just want to make this point real quick. They asked on this interview with Cal Ripken, I just thought it was very interesting because it talks about perception versus reality. And they said to him, you were always a clutch player. How do you... what would you say to LeBron James? Because apparently he's very good friends with Pat Riley, Cal Ripken. And Cal Ripken says back to the person doing the interview, he says, go check my records. I'm not a clutch player. And I think it's very interesting because here's a guy who people think of as just, the all-around great athlete, right? And he was like, no, I wasn't a clutch player. I wasn't a good clutch player. But perception, reality. LeBron will get his in time. Anyway, the book will be out. Modern Day Maccabees will be out first week of August. Amazon.com. You can order it on Kindle. You can't pre-order it yet. I will certainly let you know when you can. And thanks as always.
We want an autographed copy. I'm saying that right now. Put it out there.
Absolutely.
Just so I can have it in my apartment because I don't read books. Just to look at.
Right, but it's a children's book, so you might be able to get through this one.
Because the pictures and everything.
Yes, exactly.
Good
All
stuff.
right.
All right, have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right, that was Andy Gershon, author of Modern Day Maccabees, here on Louis Live at Israel Sports Radio. We're going to take a break, and before we do... Derek Sharp will be on the other side. Check out the store, Israel Sports Radio store, by clicking on the store tab.
Great store. Bamba, for Americans out there who love Bamba. Keep us with Red Sox on the top, and what else? Ari,
it's a whole bunch of good stuff. Check out the store. We'll be back. Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Back here on Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com. We're going to dial up our next guest. Our thanks to Andrew Gershman, author of Modern Day Maccabees. We certainly appreciate his time here on Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com. And again, it's a great show here today here in Jerusalem, Israel.
Tonight, 5:30.
Well, it's almost nighttime. It'll be nice and cool. It's been kind of a past hot couple of days after Shavuot, but the weather's very nice here in Jerusalem in the nighttime. It's not like Tel Aviv where it's still very humid and a comfortable, good breeze in the nighttime. Of course, this isn't a weather show. But in any case, great sports to talk about. The NBA Finals approaching in about a week. NHL Finals start tonight. We'll have Lori Brownstone on to talk about that. And we're going to dial up our guest right now, the 5:30 hour, Maccabi Tel Aviv legend, Derek Sharp. Dial him up as we speak. Again, you're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Check out our store by clicking on the store tab on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Great items available for sale. Always something you can buy. Hi, am I speaking with Derek?
Hello? Yeah, speaking.
Hi, Derek. This is Ari Louis. You're live on Louis Live. It's a pleasure to have Maccabi Tel Aviv assistant coach Derek Sharp here on Louis Live at IsraelSportsRadio.com. How you doing out there?
Pretty good.
All right, it's great to have you on. Go ahead, Raphael.
Hey, Derek. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I want to get straight to it. You've been in Israel now for so long. I want to first start off and not even talk about basketball. And I want to talk about a new thing we've gone into, and that's your restaurant. And we have a lot of listeners across of Israel, so please talk a little bit about your restaurant.
Yeah, it's called Shine and Sharp. It's a steakhouse. It's in Tel Aviv. Yigal Alone, 65 for those in Israel listening. Yeah, it's great food. We get a lot of great reviews, great atmosphere. It's been a dream of mine to be involved in something like that. And, the food is great. So I recommend anybody traveling to Israel from the States or from Europe to stop by and check it out. It's a great place.
Right, and I've heard it's very, very good from all my friends in Tel Aviv. I wanted to ask you, how does a basketball player, decide that this is the type of thing he wants to go into? Because, it's not like you completely quit from the game of basketball. You're still an assistant coach for Maccabi, and after playing, 85 games this year, you still have to travel with the team. So how did you keep your restaurant business going along with being an assistant coach on such a big club?
I got a lot of great partners that I work with that can handle the logistics of, running the restaurant. I have my part that I play in it, and, they understand, my job is in Maccabi, and that's the most important thing, for me. And, they understand that, and it works out fine. It's like 2 steps from our gym, our home gym. So, after games or after practice, I can stop by for an hour or two after practice, and it's no problem. So it's worked out pretty well, actually.
Right, and it's really close. I wanted to ask you about that schedule. You guys play in the Adriatic League, the Euro League, and of course domestic league, and the
right.
State Cup. You guys played, the joke we've had on the show a couple times, you guys have played more games this year than most NBA teams. So what was it like going on all those charter flights, going to Croatia and Serbia and for the Adriatic League and the Euro League? How did you keep your players focused?
Coach Block did a great job keeping the guys motivated. We kept challenging them every day, in practice and video session, and it just shows what kind of character, the guys on the team had. They're winners, they're competitors, they fight every day, in practice and in games, and, that just a tribute to, the coaching staff bringing in, those guys and the management. So, all the credit has to go to the players. They're the ones that have to step out on the floor and, and step on the planes, uncomfortable situations sometimes, knees are swelling up, ankles, but, guys fought through it, with their perseverance and show what kind of real professionals they are.
Right. And, a funny thing also we've been saying on the show, and I really want to get your thoughts on it. You look at the Spurs team this year, incredibly deep bench, guys, like some guys that are superstars, some guys that are not, some guys that are role players. The Spurs really remind me of this year's Maccabi team. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, it reminds me of a lot of the Maccabi teams in the past.
Right.
You know, they play really well together. You know, they're well coached. A lot of guys that would be superstars anywhere else, but you know, they sacrifice, you know, for the team. And you know, those are the type of teams that we try to build in Maccabi. And you know, I think, you know, the Spurs and Popovich's vision kind of mirrors, you know, our vision and as a club. So I think it's very similar. You know, the players, the coaching staff, their approach, their hard-nosed coach. So yeah, I think it's very similar situations and similar teams.
Right, and of course we're talking right now with Derek Sharp, the assistant coach of Maccabi Tel Aviv. Now we want to talk about your career, because that's really what you're known for. Yes, you have a restaurant. Yes, you're assistant coach now, but your career is what makes you Derek Sharp, or makes so many kids in Israel know you for all those amazing shots and your time with Maccabi over those years. I want to start with 1993, 94. You come over from the Bulls, South Florida. You have a great career there.
Right.
You come over and you play for a very small squad in Maccabi Hadera. So what was it like coming from, you know, South Florida? I don't know if it's in Miami, but Florida area.
Yeah, it's in Tampa.
Tampa, okay. So Tampa, that kind of atmosphere, and then coming to such a small squad and playing in Israel, 20 years ago. What was that like?
I mean, it was a good experience. You know, a couple of guys that I played college with actually played in Israel, you know, the previous year before I got there. So, you know, I talked to them a lot, and I knew what to expect. But I'm the kind of guy that you can throw me anywhere, and I'll be able to, you know, handle it and, you know, adapt to the situation. But, you know, my whole idea was to come here and try to get better as a player and work hard every day and you know, keep believing that, you know, I could always take a step up and be in a top organization. And, you know, I just kept my head on right, you know, kept doing the right things and thinking positive and worked hard. And, you know, it kind of worked out. But, you know, Hadera was a great city, a small city, and so all I had time to do was practice. You know, I think that was the perfect situation for me. Right,
and of course, yeah, you moved on to Migdala Emek for 2 years, and then you landed in home sweet home, Maccabi Tel Aviv. 96 to 2011, you retired last summer. I know it was a very sad moment for all Israeli fans and even EuroLeague fans, because you've had so many great moments in the EuroLeague. I've always wanted to ask you this, Derek. What has made you not leave Israel? Or not? I mean, I'm sure you got plenty of offers to go to other teams in Europe or NBA mini camps or draft camps. What made you decide that this is a place you wanted to really call home, get married, and raise your kids?
I think, you know, Israel kind of chose me. I mean, you know, I met my wife here. All my kids were born here. You know, the people really respect me and love me, and, you know, I'm comfortable. The kids love it. You know, the people, the second language is English. The weather is like Florida. I had no reason to leave. You know, home is where the heart is, and I think, you know, and where the family is. So my family is with me. My heart is here. And it was just a great situation. So I think, you know, time flies. You know, I look back and it seemed like it was so long ago, but time flies, you know, especially when you're having fun. So, you know, I think Israel chose me, and it's a perfect match.
Very interesting. Speaking of your family, I've been watching some YouTube videos of your son, and he's really balling up right now, the courts of Israel. So tell us a little bit about that, and what do you expect from him in the future, and a little more about your son and his basketball career.
Yeah, DJ. Yeah, he's a great player, very talented, very skillful. You know, he's making me very proud. All my boys, you know, Gabriel and Emmanuel as well. They play, you know, over here on the club teams as well. But yeah, they all have bright futures. You know, as long as they continue to work hard and you know, stay positive and keep their heads on the right way. Yeah, you know, all I can do is give him advice and show him the way. And you know, he's the one that's got to take it on himself to go out and work hard and believe in himself. So, but he's coming along well. You know, he's improved so much. He's got a bright future, you know, God willing. All of them do.
Right, yeah, we hope that for sure. I want to ask you now about one of the most famous moments. Remember watching this like it was yesterday, April 8th, 2004, that three-point shot that actually, I mean, the reason, honestly, as an Israeli, the reason why that was so important, it wasn't that, you know, Maccabi advanced to the Final Four. It was that Maccabi advanced to the Final Four in Israel. And
in Israel,
exactly. And with that shot, we went into overtime. and that was it. From there, after that shot, as a Maccabi fan, I am a huge Maccabi fan from birth, you knew the game was over. Just when someone makes such an amazing shot like that, the other team kind of, their jaw drops and they don't know what to do. But what was it like when you won that game to know that, wow, I made that shot that helped us advance to a Final Four in Tel Aviv, that I might add a lot of places or countries did not want the Final Four to come here, but it did. So what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was very emotional. If you watch that game, at the end of that game, once I realized that, we were going to actually win the game and make it to the Final Four, and I had the shot, all the emotions came out. You could see me crying on the bench, of happiness, of course, but, it was very emotional, very, very fortunate and blessed, to be in that situation and to bring the Final Four to Israel and to actually win it, that year. That was just the icing on the cake. So that was a great feeling, something that you practice all your life, to be in situations like that and to actually come through, was just a blessing. So I'm very thankful and grateful for that. And, it was a great moment. The miracle shot is what they call it.
Right, the Ness. Also, not only did you advance to the Final Four, but Maccabi won the Final Four that year. So it was almost, it was almost kind of one of those things. It was just a dream, and all Maccabi fans will always, always, always remember that. And during your time with Maccabi, you have won 27 trophies. It's almost weird to say that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Wow, I mean, it wasn't just me. I have a lot of great players, that I play with, a lot of great coaches. I've just been blessed and fortunate to be in the situation and, be on teams that have sacrificed, for each other. And it's just been wonderful. Like I said, I compare a lot of the teams to the Spurs teams. They're a great dynasty, great organization. And I think Maccabi is also one of those kind of organizations where, it's going to be 20 years from now, and I think they're still going to be a winning organization. And that's just an tribute to, the staff and the management bringing in the right players and the right coaches. And it's been a wonderful ride. Words can't describe it.
Hi, Derek. You're now on with Ari Louis. Thank you again for being on Louis Live at Israel Sports Radio. And I want to ask you a question regarding your early days. Before you went to South Florida, you played at a community college, and I want to know what that's like, because to do that transfer from community college to a university sometimes is difficult. And how were you able to make that transition to be successful in college and, of course, later on be successful here in Israel?
Well, I think that kind of put me in and got me ready for Israel, actually. Coming out of high school, I wasn't really recruited, by the big teams. Just like coming out of college, coming out of the four-year school, I didn't really have a lot of options. But there was one, coach that saw me at a Team Florida tryout, and he gave me a number to this coach, and he saw me, and he wanted me, and that just gave me time to actually reflect on my game and myself and continue to work hard. It helped me to work hard, keep working harder and harder, every year. Really concentrated on my work, my studies. I got my grades right. I mean, they were right anyway, but, I continued to study well and then graduated, got my BS, from there and moved on to the University of South Florida and continued. My life kind of went in steps where, I had to start at the bottom and work my way to the top. So, this is something I've come accustomed to, and I know kind of how to approach it and have the right mindset.
Right, that's a great answer there. Derek, we're going to let you go with this. What does the future hold with you? Are you what's going on with Maccabi? Are you being an assistant? What are your plans for next year?
Yeah, the plans are to continue to coach, of course, hopefully in Maccabi or anywhere else, but yeah, it's still up in the air. They're negotiating now, and hopefully, I can be back here. But if not, I'll continue to build my coaching career and get experience and try to be the best coach. I got to start at the bottom again.
All right, great stuff. Derek, we certainly appreciate your time here on Louis Live at Israel Sports Radio, and best of luck to you and, of course, Maccabi Tel Aviv, and we'll be in touch in the future.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Derek.
All right, be well. All right, that was Derek Sharp of Maccabi Tel Aviv, assistant coach there. We're going to stay here and not break for a commercial. We're Oh, actually, I think we will go to
We're
commercial.
going to break for commercial. Our guest just informed us that his building is being evacuated in a fire drill, so we're going to go in a commercial right now.
Yeah, fire drill reminds of like the school
High
days.
school.
I think I had that.
That
in
might
middle
not
school
be
as
a
well.
good thing. Let's hope he's okay. Let's send our wishes out to Mike Rose in New York City for Newsday.
Mike Rose from Newsday. Everyone, make sure pray that he's okay. I have a feeling it's not that serious because he had time to write you.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's probably okay.
So we might actually not be able to have him on today, but we'll see what happens with that. We'll try.
How'd
and
you
get
feel?
in touch.
I know Derek Sharp is a legend to you. How was that?
Yeah, it was. I grew up watching him. It was nice. We've had a lot of great guests on, but I know you were saying when we had. I'm trying to think of someone who meant a lot.
Well, like for me, Roy Jones meant a lot
Jones,
to me.
Kurt Schilling.
Folks, because we interview a lot of people. If we, on average, we're interviewing 4 people an episode, so that adds up. But some interviews certainly mean more to us than others on a personal level,
right?
Because we're fans at the end of the day.
We are, and Derek Sharp has been such, a voice and a spokesman for Israeli basketball to show that no matter what's going on in Israel, you can still live here and be successful. And he had a lot of pressure to leave in the early 2000s during the Intifada to go sign with another team. And
Sure.
he did not. He stayed, and it just shows. Loyalty, a lot of loyalty. Been with Maccabi for 16 years now. The organization, a guy coming from America, not Jewish. No connection to Judaism, not converting to Judaism for Maccabi. And we didn't mention this in the interview, guys, but he played for the national team of Israel, and that's an honor for any place in the world to be able to represent your country. He played in a Eurobasket, which is the biggest European tournament. It's the European Championships, kind of the Euro 2012, the soccer tournament coming up. So, icon for me. A great guy. If you watch games, Maccabi games, he's on the bench jumping up and down. Not a big guy, 6 foot, always jumping up and down, patting the guys, always speaking with different point guards. Papa Lucas on the team this year, Keith Langford, very close with his players, and definitely an icon.
And you take a look, he retired at 39, so had a long career, played
Very long.
in his late 30s.
Right, and the last couple of years, I'll be honest, he didn't play that much. But when he did, the fans got up and stood up for him. And he didn't play that much, but when he came in, he was expected to make 1 or 2 3-pointers. That was his goal. It wasn't to come in and get the fans excited. We've had some players in the NBA like that who come in and aren't expected to do anything and are cashing up the money. And no, Derek Sharp came in, was expected to play good defense, expected to play hard and make a couple 3-pointers that would help with the team and maybe elevate the crowd. But 39, playing a career that old in Europe also is very hard because of the physicality of the game.
Right, it's very much a team-oriented game.
Nasty, as Popovich would say.
Nasty and running around a lot. It's not like there's a slower tempo in the NBA.
A lot of games too,
and more games, right? Especially with Maccabi Tel Aviv because they have the yearly game as well.
And Adriatic. Wow, this year, 73 and 12 was their record, and like 6 or 7 of those losses were by 1 or 2 points. They
played 85 games, more than the NBA's team.
They informed the Adriatic League next year they will not be participating because it was way too intense. They'd have let's say one day they'd have a charter flight to Croatia, the next day to Greece, and then the next day they'd be playing. In that week they'd be playing in Serbia, Greece, and Cologne. Like it was too crazy, and the players did an amazing job. 1 point away from making the Final Four in the Euro League, winning the domestic league, winning the State Cup, and winning the Adriatic League. We're just getting some more news now from Mike Rose. He's giving us some more updates, so we want to let you know what he's saying to us. He says he hopes to be back in the office by 11. So we'll see what happens with that. We're going to go to commercial. Ari and I are going to talk about what we're going to do because we do have gym at 11. Maybe we can push the gym back a little.
Okay, so let's take a break. By the way, check out our store by clicking on the store tab of IsraelSportsRadio.com. This is Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and
and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
All right, we're going to be right back with Mike Rose of Newsday right after this.
And then Jim Williams, and then Dylan DeSimmons, who's a sports journalist. And after the commercial, I'll tell you all about him.
All right, so stay tuned. It's Louis live at IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Louis Live, we're here in the 6 o'clock hour. For those of you who expected Jim Wins, we're actually going to push Jim off for about 15 minutes. We're going to dial up right now a gentleman from Newsday, Mike Rose.
Right.
Mike Rose had a bit of a fire drill, so he was supposed to be on about 15 minutes earlier. But
Senior sports editor at Newsday.
Sports editor at
Getting his
Newsday.
title.
Yes, big stuff. So we certainly appreciate him coming on, especially after
the fire
drill situation.
So we're dialing him up. I'm going to start off with a little college football, and Ari's going to transition to the NBA playoffs.
All right. And again, while we're dialing him, check out the store by clicking on the store tab on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Rose.
Hi, am I speaking with Mike Rose?
Yes.
Hi, Mike. This is Ari Louis. You're live on Louis Live at IsraelSportsRadio.com. How you doing out there?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We certainly appreciate it. Raphael would like to fire away with a few questions. Go ahead, Raphael.
Mike,
Okay,
I hope everything's okay with the fire drill. First of all, we want to...
Yeah.
You're okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a test, I suppose.
Okay. Well, we were worried here at Israel Sports Radio.
But we
sent out our
figured
thoughts.
since you wrote us an email that you were okay. So we were, thank God for that. But they do have to test it.
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. I know that we're going to talk some NFL, NBA, but before we do that, we have about 15, 14 minutes. I really want to talk with you about everything that's been going on in the college sports world, all these conferences moving and staying, or will they go, will they stay? I know your specialty more is football, so there's been also a lot of talks about BCS playoffs and the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask your thoughts about, do you think this is a good thing for the college football that all these teams are switching conferences and teams are leaving? I just want to get your thoughts on all that. I
I don't know if it's a good thing, but it's kind of inevitable. We've gotten to this point where, look at Boise State and TCU and Utah. They were in non-automatic qualifying conferences, and when it came down to getting into BCS bowls or getting into the national championship game, they had a very hard time. But now Utah's in the Pac-12, Boise State's in the Big East, TCU's in the Big 12. So now they're in those conferences where they're in position to get into a national championship game. So I think all the switching that's been going on, I just think we were going down this road a long time ago, and we're here. And I think the biggest question I have about a playoff is how are they going to determine the 4 teams that make it? Is it going to be 4 conference champions? In that scenario, it wouldn't work out very well because, presumably you would have the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, and the Pac-12. So you're leaving out the Big East and the ACC in that scenario. Plus, what do you do with Notre Dame? Plus, if you're going with 4 conference champions, look at the SEC. The 2 best teams last year were Alabama and LSU. In that scenario, LSU would make it in, Alabama wouldn't. And as we all know, Alabama won the national championship. So I think we're going to have a playoff, but I'm more interested in how they're going to determine the 4 teams. The Pac-12 and the Big Ten are locked into that Rose Bowl game. Now the SEC and the Big 12 are going to play in a bowl game somewhere. So I think the deal is if the Big 12 and SEC champions don't make it into this Final Four, that they will play each other in a bowl game. So it seems like those 4 conferences are kind of positioning themselves for this, and the ACC and the Big East are kind of waiting in the wings, trying to figure out what to do. In terms of the teams that have left the Big East, I don't know. From a money standpoint, because everything is tied to TV money, the Big East has to negotiate a new TV deal with ESPN. I'm just not sure, what the allure is going to be when you have a Big East conference with teams scattered all over the country. Are people really going to be interested in watching Boise State UConn on a Saturday afternoon? I don't know. Those are a bunch of the questions I have right now. But I think we are going to get to a playoff. I think it is going to be a 4-team playoff, and if it was up to me, it would be the 4 best teams because again, you're going to have years where you're going to have 2 of the 4 best teams are going to be from one conference, and then you still have Notre Dame, which isn't affiliated with any conference right now. Right. And I think that's the other interesting thing. I think a lot of the conferences are kind of waiting and seeing what Notre Dame does before they expand anymore. That's just the feeling I get. Reportedly, the Big 12 has approached Notre Dame a bunch of times. I assume the Big Ten, is very interested in what Notre Dame's going to do. Notre Dame, from a geographical standpoint, is a perfect fit for the Big Ten. Absolutely. And, there's been talk about Notre Dame possibly going to the ACC. So, I think there's so many unanswered questions, and I think it's going to shake out eventually, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
Right, and just to touch up on some of the stuff you're saying, Notre Dame, of course, for our listeners in Israel who don't know where Notre Dame is or what I guess they do know what Notre Dame is, but Notre Dame's located in South Bend, which is, on the border close to Michigan. And as being a person who lived in Bloomington, Indiana, I will tell you that people in Indiana would be very happy to have a team they could finally root for. Purdue's been struggling for a while. They were very good in the early 2000s. They had Drew Brees at a time. They had a lot of great quarterbacks, but in the last few years, it's been a problem. So Notre Dame would be very big. The addition of Nebraska this year was huge to the Big Ten. It kind of gives that Nebraska, Michigan State, who's also since D'Antonio's come over, I believe from Cincinnati. He's kind of made that. The Big Ten is probably the only consistent conference that's not doing all this moving. And they have Wisconsin and Michigan, and now with
it's a very balanced conference. Absolutely. From top to bottom, because you've got Ohio State, obviously, with Urban Meyer. Yep. Michigan's coming back. Michigan State is strong. Wisconsin's strong. Iowa's a solid team. Penn State has a new coach, but you assume they're going to be back soon. Northwestern, kind of a gritty team, always in ball games. I don't think the Big Ten is going to do any expanding until they find out what Notre Dame's going to do, because obviously Notre Dame would fit for them perfectly. And, with the Big Ten network, having Notre Dame in that's obviously going to mean a lot more money for the Big Ten in terms of their TV revenues. So, I think Notre Dame is kind of one of the interesting dominoes that haven't fallen yet. So, I think whatever happens with them is going to impact a lot of the other expansion.
Right, and a point you made earlier, TCU, I think that was very, very big for them because they've had all those great years where they always wondered what would happen. Andy Dalton, a great quarterback who really had a great season last year with the Bengals. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. Like you said, is anyone going to watch UConn Boise State? Who knows? ESPN always shows a lot of random things, so you never know what will happen. I think the Big Ten networks have been a hit. From what I hear from people in the Indiana region, Michigan region, a lot of people really enjoy it, especially with the basketball edition. They have a lot of great reporters there. We've actually had Jerry DiNardo, football guy from IU. So great stuff there. I want to move on now to the NFL. And, of course, you're in Newsday. You cover Giants, Jets. I'm going to let Ari go with that and talk to you a little about Tim Tebow and Sanchez.
Yeah.
Great.
Hi, Michael, again, for being here on Louis Live Digital Sports Radio. Tebow making all the headlines by coming to the Jets, and I've said this a few times, I'll say it again. I think the feeling is if Sanchez was 1-2 in the first 3 games of the season, that the people in New York will be calling up radio talk shows and claiming or saying that Sanchez should step down. But our understanding is we have someone on the ground that says Sanchez is having a great practice so far, and it seems that Tebow is motivating him. So is that going to be the answer? Because he didn't have a good third season, Mark Sanchez. Is Tim Tebow going to motivate Sanchez to keep his job and have a great fourth season of his NFL career?
That's a great question. I mean, we don't have to wait until the Jets are 1-2 or whatever they're going to be. It's kind of started already. Last week I had an OTA out in Florham Park. There was a huge throng of media. Tebow threw 2 picks in the scrimmage they were having, and it was huge news here that Tebow threw 2 picks in a scrimmage. And Sanchez did look very good in that scrimmage last week. To answer your question, I think bringing in Tebow is going to motivate Sanchez, and I'm sure that was one of the factors the Jets kind of contemplated when they were going to make this move, is that having Tebow here, would kind of force Sanchez to elevate his play and have a better season. But it could have the reverse effect. Bringing somebody in could psychologically, it could ruin a quarterback. But I think the key with the Jets is that last year they kind of got away from their identity. The first couple of years under Rex Ryan, they were a running team. And they had the solid offensive line, and last year they threw the ball more, and obviously adding Tony Sperano, I just think they're going to get back more to that ground and pound attack, which takes some of the pressure off the quarterback. So I think from that perspective, I think Sanchez is kind of in position to have a really good year upcoming, because I think the Jets are going to get back to what they did. The Jets threw a lot last year, more than they have in recent memory. So there was a lot more pressure on Sanchez last year to produce in games, and his statistics last year were very good. The Jets obviously went 8-8 and didn't make the playoffs, and there was some trouble at the end of the season with Santonio Holmes. But I'd say the 2 factors last year was they threw the ball more, they weren't a running team, and the defense wasn't as good last year as it had been. Some of the players they depended on didn't have typically good seasons. Bart Scott obviously is one of them, but I think having Tebow here will motivate Sanchez, and I think from at least from the early practices, the early OTA sessions. If last week's any indication, it seems like Tebow is definitely pushing Sanchez to do a lot better this year.
We have a caller that calls to the program, Broncos Mike, a huge fan, obviously, of the Denver Broncos, and he was very disappointed to see Tebow go. One of the things he argued about, he says, even if you were going to bring in a Peyton Manning, maybe have Tebow around as a running back. Is that a possibility in New York Jets land that Tebow comes out of the backfield?
Yeah, I mean, Sperano ran the Wildcat pretty effectively in Miami. I believe he used Pat White, the former West Virginia quarterback, to run the Wildcat down there. So Tebow could be used in Wildcat packages, and I'm sure the Jets are probably going to have a couple packages featuring Tebow and the Wildcat. I'm not so sure Tebow would be a good running back. I guess he could play some H-back, kind of be a blocker and maybe go out and catch some passes. But they were using Tebow last week during the OTA in special teams, various special teams formations. So, Rex Ryan has said that Tebow could fit in on the special teams unit. I think the most important thing to remember about Tebow is, the guy's a winner. When he took over with the Broncos last year, you won a good amount of games, got them into the playoffs. They beat the Steelers. So, from that perspective, the guy's a winner. I mean, you put him on the field, something good's going to happen. I'm not sure what the Jets are going to do with him, to be honest with you. I'm sure they're going to use him in the Wildcat. They'll probably have him on the field just as a decoy sometimes. I think he'll play some special teams. I don't think he's going to be a running back that's going to get 10 carries a game or anything like that, but they might give him 1 or 2 carries a game. I think they're going to kind of wait and see how the game plays out and see what's the best time to use him, what's the best situation to put him in, and then go from there. But obviously that's going to be the big story of training camp is how the Jets are using Tebow and how they envision him fitting in with the team during the regular season.
Okay, and we want to move now on, of course, to, I guess, the rivals, or crosstown rivals, New York Giants, who, of course, won the Super Bowl last year. Mm-hmm. Eli Manning's kind of becoming the next, Tom Brady or the next Ben Roethlisberger. Who knows what you want to say, over passing his brother, which is kind of funny for all Colts fans out there who are listening right now. Sorry I had to do that. But I wanted to ask you, a lot of guys were lost this offseason. Dante Manningham going over to San Fran and really upgrading their offensive receiving core, and of course releasing a running back as well. Seems though the Giants always seem to find a way to bounce back and sign guys in the offseason or maybe right before it's training camp when other guys get released. I know that the Patriots just released Anthony Gonzalez. Yesterday was very shocking in the Patriots community because he was supposed to have a new career there. So what do you think the Giants are going to do to kind of help these gaps?
I think they've already done it because they had a very solid draft.
Right. Very good point.
David Wilson in the first round was a bit of a surprise, but the guy's got a load of talent. I'm not sure how much he's going to contribute his rookie season, but he's got speed, he's got home run ability. He's a guy that can break it anywhere on the field. So I think that was a nice addition for them. But the addition I liked the most was in the second round getting Ruben Randle. He didn't really have a great year last year with LSU per se because of the quarterback play, but Ruben Randle's a talented receiver, and they can slot Ruben Randle right into the spot where Manningham was. Mario Manningham went to the 49ers as a free agent. The Giants do a really good job of drafting players. If you remember, they got Ahmad Bradshaw really low in the draft. I think he was a 7th-round pick. Right. And he's turned out really well. They brought Victor Cruz in as an undrafted free agent. Right. They do a great job of scouting. They do a great job at the draft. And, the other thing is they bring these guys in who, people are kind of unsure how they're going to work out, and they work out great. They signed Keith Rivers. They traded for Keith Rivers, got him from the Bengals for some draft picks. And, Keith Rivers was a top 10 pick not too long ago, and he's had some injury problems in Cincinnati. But, if he's healthy, he could be a really nice addition for the Giants on the defensive side. The Giants draft really well. Jason Pierre-Paul and Muir and Justin Tuck. That's their secret, really.
Yeah, and, of course, Wilson. Virginia Tech is known for having so many great running backs, or maybe not even necessarily running backs. Of course, the Vick brothers both went there. I wanted to correct myself when I said Dante Maynham. I think I was thinking of Dante Cunningham, who went to Villanova and now plays for the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
So I always like to correct myself. But yeah, a lot of good points there, and we'll see what happens with the Giants this year. I'm a huge Patriots fan, so I hope that they don't have a good year, but that's just me.
All right, Michael, we certainly appreciate the time here on Louis Live at Israel Sports Radio. Glad you're safe. We had a great time with you on the program, and we'd love to do it again in the future.
Great, thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. Be well out there.
All right, take care. Bye.
All right, that was Newsday's senior sports editor, Michael Rose, here on the program. What we're going to do now is not break for a commercial. We're going to stay on the airwaves and dial up Jim Williams right now here on Louis Live on Israel Sports Radio. And again, great points Michael made.
The draft, right.
The draft and the whole Tebow situation as well. It's just going to be fun stuff to watch. There's certain stories out there that you're excited before really it begins. And what's going to happen with the quarterback controversy, you can taste it. Is he going to come as a running back? Is he going to get in trouble? I mean, there's all types of the spotlight in the NFL right now is clearly on Tim Tebow and the Jets. When you say the NFL, it's the first thing I actually think of right now is Tim Tebow, even though we had a Super Bowl not too long ago, a great Super Bowl between the Giants and the Patriots. So again, we're dialing up Jim Williams. Check out the store by clicking on the store tab on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Great items there. Bamba books, shirts, hats, and all types of great stuff. Kippos as well. Hi, Jim. Hello, Jim. Are you there? Okay. Can't hear anything right now. We're going to try Jim Williams again. So this one more time. Again, live radio, of course, folks. And we'll try to get Jim on and give him a call, talk some sports. Hi, Jim. Can you hear us? Hello? Okay, we're having some issues. Let's take a commercial break and try to sort this out. You're listening to Louis Live on Israel Sports Radio.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Okay, back here on Louis Live at IsraelSportsRadio.com. We're going to try Jim Williams again here.
Right. That's not Jim Williams.
No.
That's not Jim Williams. Hang up. That's not Jim Williams' number.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
All right.
Mike Rose's number. We don't want to call him again.
Okay, here we go.
410 is Jim.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Trying Jim again.
Sorry, I can't come to the phone right now. I'm either on.
All right. Well, at least we know we can hear. Okay.
Let's
second here.
We're talking to Jim right now, so we're trying to figure a way to get a hold of him.
Okay, one second
And
here.
when we call Jim, I'm going to start off and talk to him about the playoffs. And then Ari's going to talk to him about all the great stuff in the baseball world. How does that sound, Ari?
Yeah, it sounds great. All right, I think we're about set to go in about one moment here.
We're just going to get some confirmation from Jim.
Yes, and then call him.
We're going to talk about the Spurs. Jim and I have talked about the Spurs a lot when Ari's been out of studio and I've had the show. So I'm going to talk with him about that. And a lot of great stuff, a lot of good stories. We'll check out all the headlines across the country. Yeah, we're just trying to confirm everything here. Let's try him now.
Okay.
We got the okay.
Yeah, we're going to try right now. Okay. And again, check out the store by going to the store tab on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Hats, T-shirts, food, books, candles.
Everything. You name it. It's
candle
good
holders.
stuff. Made in Israel.
Hello.
Hi, Jim.
Jim,
All right, we got you. You're live on Louis Live at Israel Sports Radio. How you doing out there?
The idea of being live on Louis Live is better than being dead on Louis Live. So yes, by all means,
right.
I'm happy to be here.
It's better than the alternative. That's for sure.
Right.
All right, Raphael would like to begin. It's not college basketball, right?
It's not college basketball, but it is basketball, and I'll probably sneak in some college basketball. Jim Williams, the Spurs, 20 in a row, 30 out of 33, something like that. Unstoppable. Tony Parker domination. What are your thoughts on this series?
I'm surprised a bit that OKC is not being more aggressive, but what it does prove, and two things. One, Greg Popovich is far and away the class coach of the NBA. There's no question about that. His system works, and number two, it proves that the age-old adage that a team always beats superstars. And if they continue to play the way that they're continuing to play, there's no reason to believe they can't beat Miami.
Right. I mean, no, absolutely. Especially now, I am going to go to college basketball. There have been so many great players from college basketball. Leonard from San Diego State, a guy who a lot of people don't know about because it's San Diego State and they didn't have any of their games on ESPN. They had him on the Mountain West Conference on that TV station there. Danny Green, who really struggled a couple years, but was a product out of North Carolina. Boris Diaw, who they got from the last place Charlotte Bobcats, in March or February?
Early,
right.
Late in the season.
So this team, and really Tony Parker, I mean, Jim, I want to ask you about this. Would you now say it's fair to say that this is Tony Parker's team? Tim Duncan's still a legend and still the most famous player on the floor, but this is now officially Tony Parker's team.
Well, I think so. I mean, Tony Parker, I had this discussion the other day with some people in Los Angeles that eventually the Lakers are going to have to get young. And if that means that it's no longer Kobe's team, then it means it's no longer Kobe's team. You have to be able to transition. One of the brilliant things about Tim Duncan from the day he stepped foot on the NBA basketball court was he had absolutely no ego.
Right.
He was always whatever it took to play best for the team. At that point, it was David Robinson's team. It then transitioned to Tim Duncan's team, but it never was, in Tim Duncan's mind, Tim Duncan's team. It was always the same, the San Antonio Spurs. And you've got two small market teams in San Diego and OKC who are in the finals, and likely, if the Spurs continue to go on, and there's no reason to believe that they won't, that once again Miami will get to a final and be beaten by a team, not by a 2-on-2 situation or a 3-on-3 situation. They'll be beaten by the team, which goes back to the old Red Auerbach line. It's not whose name's on the back of the jersey; it's what's on the front.
Right. That's true, and of course it helps that you have such a legendary coach, Greg Popovich, who of course, had that famous line, the nasty, but we're not going to talk about that with you, Jim, because I've heard enough about it on TV. I want to ask you, the guys at PTI yesterday were reporting from a source, maybe the newspaper, I'm not sure, I'm sure you will know. Pau Gasol wants out of the Lakers, which is not really a surprise in my opinion, and wants to go to the Bulls. What are your thoughts on this, Jim?
Well, I don't know. I mean, first of all, I don't know that the Bulls necessarily want Pau Gasol, but if they do, it would be a good, be a good move. The other side of the coin is, where do the Lakers go? I mean, clearly the Lakers are disjointed at this point in time, and they probably, and this is, I know there's a lot of Laker fans that get upset at this. They're going to take a step back. That doesn't mean they're not going to be a playoff team. It just means they're not going to be a dominant team, and they're going to be the second best team in Los Angeles. The Clippers certainly have the wherewithal now to get the players they need to complement the roster to be a better team, going forward. And I think there's no reason to believe that they won't. I think that what we have in the Lakers situation is a bit of a mishmash of players that play somewhat as a team, but it's really still not a 1 through 5 roster that plays solidly as a team.
Right. And
so as far as Pau Gasol to the Bulls, is it possible? Sure, it's possible, but do the Bulls want Pau Gasol? I mean, that's really, Pau Gasol wants him on the Bulls. That's great. Do the Bulls want Pau Gasol? I don't know that they do.
But Jim, with Derrick Rose being out essentially, until February, March of next year, those are the rumors right now, wouldn't it be helpful? The thing is, Michael Wilbon was saying they do. As a Bulls fan, of course, Wilbon from Chicago, he said he does not want to get rid of a young guy like Taj Gibson who has more energy and can defend better than Pau. So what are your thoughts on that comment?
Well, I agree. Number one, I agree with Michael. Number two, Pau Gasol, what does it say about Pau Gasol that he's saying, I want out of Los Angeles, I'd like to play for the Bulls? I mean, basically, you're getting someone who is openly a malcontent. I mean, he's not happy where he is. He's not going to, the front office and saying, look, guys, just between you and me, I really don't like it here anymore. It's just not working for me. How about, I'd love to get to Chicago. Could you get me there? He's openly doing it in the press. That does not, if I'm a coach, I'm not really excited about that.
Right, you're right. And I mean, you can't blame him, though, Jim. They tried to trade him in the offseason, of course, for the Chris Paul thing. He would go to the Rockets, which I don't know if that would have been such a bad thing. The Rockets seem to be a young team that's really starting to play well. Kyle Lowry and a lot of other guys, Luis Scola from, I believe, Argentina. But still, do you think it's bad that he did it that way? I mean, I wouldn't expect.
I think, here's the thing. Front offices, management, coaches, everybody, down the line, they're not crazy about people lobbying to get to the team. Obviously that was a situation that put together, the big three in Miami. There was a lobbying situation going on where, LeBron was being wooed by South Beach, but that was only after he was a free agent and said, these are the teams I'd like to quote unquote interview, for lack of a better way of putting it. In Paul's case, he's openly doing it, and look, Paul's a good player. There's no question about that, and he's going to make any team he's on better. There isn't a doubt about that. But I do believe that management, and specifically coaches and general managers, are not crazy about players who openly in the press try to end up on their teams, because that makes it look like, what if you are on the Bulls already, right?
Right.
And Pau Gasol says, I want to be on the Bulls. Well, in one regard, that's flattering. On the other side of the coin, you're looking at it as, well, which one of us is going to leave if Paul, if we go and get Paul? Whose time is going to be taken away if Paul gets here?
Right, and as you mentioned, Jim, obviously the Lakers got to go young, so it is probably going to be, if it was something, a trade package, it probably would involve Gibson. So actually, it's a
Oh,
great...
it absolutely would. I mean,
Right.
look, the Lakers are going to try to extract a king's ransom for Paul. And if the Bulls are an absolutely outstanding basketball team. Yes, they had, you can't lose, a Rose and not, understand that that's going to set you back. But at the same time, do you bring in Gasol and totally upset the chemistry of the team that you've built for a short-term fix? I mean, is Paul Gasol a long-term, answer to the Bulls making to the playoffs? The answer in my mind is no.
Okay, interesting. Jim, speaking of Los Angeles, big decision made by Clipper management, Donald Sterling, that Vinny Del Negro will come back next year. Of course, there was that run there where they thought he'd be fired, and they won, I think, 13 out of 15. Played well, won their first-round series, then kind of, big Game 7 in Memphis. Got to give them credit for that. And then kind of just got dominated by the Spurs. But at this point, everyone's getting dominated by the Spurs, so it's not a big deal. Do you like Vinny coming back? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a good idea. I mean, Vinny coached them well, and I think that, as I said, remember that they got Chris Paul very close to the time that that the season began last year. They didn't really get, that whole, they weren't able to build the team around Chris and around Blake Griffin. And I think Donald Sterling will now have certainly has the cap room to do it. He can build around those guys, and as I said before, he can make the Clippers the number one team in Los Angeles. They'll never they'll never from a shining star atmosphere outshine the Lakers. But what they can do is be a better team than the Lakers. And right now they have that opportunity, and I believe they will be, at least for the next 3 or 4 years.
Right, and a lot of people in Chicago who are hardcore Bulls fans say that Del Negro was kind of forced out and maybe shouldn't have been. He did pretty well with the young Bulls team. What were they called, Ari? The young Bulls, or what was the term that they had when it was Ben Gordon and all those, when they were very young? They were the four.
Yeah, no, I remember. It was Young Bulls, Raging Bulls, or all kinds of
some silly name like that. And he did a pretty good job there, but got fired. Then his record with the Clippers, I think, is 3 or 4 games under 500. But in 2-3 years, that's not bad for a Clipper.
No, because he didn't really have a team until Blake Griffin could play, and then when they got Chris Paul, then that was a game changer.
And their winning percentage last year was higher than Dunleavy's percentage that one year when Elton Brand, they had that one nice year, and then of course after that it all fell apart. But yeah, things are good there. I think the players are comfortable with Vinny. I think Blake really likes him. We had on an assistant coach from Harvard, Yanni Hufnagel, who was his assistant at Oklahoma, and said that he had a good relationship with him. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. I want to now move to East Conference, the Eastern Conference, that is. Celtics, Miami. I mean, it's really looking like Miami's just ready to go to the finals and have a standoff with the Spurs. Do you think the Celtics can steal a game or two or make this a series?
Well, I think the Celtics certainly are capable of winning 2 or 3 games in this series. I think that it probably will be a 5 or 6 game series. I just don't think that that the Celtics have enough, to make it work against LeBron and Dwayne. I mean, it's just they're just not fast enough, and the team's not deep enough. Right. It's a different situation than the Spurs. I mean, the Spurs can run 15, or 13 guys at you. And that's what's going to cause, problems for the Heat. It's caused problems already for everybody they played in the playoffs. And that is teams when they go, I'm sure you and your listeners have heard that when you go to the playoffs, you shorten your bench.
Yep.
So you get, maybe you play 6 or 7 guys in a rotation. The Spurs continue to play 12 and 13 guys in a rotation. There's no way, if they're quality players, and they all seem to be in that system, quality players, that they're going to wear you out. I mean, and that's what they've done to a very athletic OKC team, a very athletic Clippers team. They've flat just worn them out. And I don't see that they, coming forward, I think that the Heat going into a situation, if it is the Heat and it is the Spurs, I think that's going to be fun to watch because it's going to be, how, we know that LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and that team is athletic, but, we also know they're not deep. And so it's going to be a lot of fun to see if once again a team, ironically a team from Texas, can, derail the Miami Heat from taking a championship.
Of course, and Jim was making the reference there to 2006 with the Mavericks. Or
2006 Mavericks Heat.
Yes.
Not
Okay.
2006, last year.
Last year, no. Of course, the Heat won that year. Last year. Good point. Where, okay, Jim.
It was the Dirk Nowitzki situation where the Mavericks played as a team.
Right.
And once again, proved that the team wins. So as I was going to say, as I said, it was ironic, or it could be ironic, that for 2 years in a row, the Heat's quest for a championship dies in Texas. But there's a lot of basketball to be played between now and then.
Right. And I want to bring in a college basketball thing here and say something very interesting. And I'm not just saying...
I'm really stunned. A college basketball question. Go ahead.
What I'm saying, it's not even a question, it's just kind of a thing that I noticed. When Dwayne Wade went to... And this is... I'm being serious here. When Dwayne Wade went to go visit Tom Creed in Indiana, when he came back the next game, he was a completely different player. And I'm not just saying, I know I have a lot of bias and our listeners know that, but he went down and apparently he really relaxed. I even know some friends who spot him in Bloomington. He went all around town and he really came back. I think the next game had 30 points, and since then, the next game after that, the game 6 against the Pacers, had almost 40 points. So do you think that Tom Crean, of course, his college coach, Marquette, kind of told him, like, listen, relax, because he was really struggling those first 2 games, 3 points and 10 points. So what were your thoughts on that, Jim?
Well, I think that certainly anytime you get an opportunity to sit down with your college coach, and you'd be surprised how many of these guys text and talk to their college coaches on a regular basis. They don't necessarily make a pilgrimage to see them, but they do talk to them, and these are guys who, in some cases, as in Dwayne's case at Marquette, the college coach had a tremendous impact on him. In other regards, it's AAU coaches and high school coaches that are guys that they speak to quite a bit. And so I really think, under the circumstances, that what it did for Dwayne was, he got an opportunity to go to Bloomington to sit down with his old coach, and they just kind of, it was a much more relaxed situation. He, probably went out on the court there at IU and just, maybe shot some hoops and talked, and maybe even talked to some of the players while he was there. But the situation was that, sometimes you have to step away from the big stage to get to get yourself regrouped and get your head back in the game. And clearly it didn't hurt him. It certainly helped him. And as I say, many of these kids, who are out there playing basketball, and some of the guys who've been in the league for years, are very close to their college coaches, the AAU coaches, and the high school coaches, and they constantly are in contact with them.
Right, and I had to put that out there just because I really think Tom, or Coach Crean, I've never even heard anyone refer to him as Tom, really helped him out, and he's really been a different player. And now, Jim, I want to talk about something I'm kind of switching now back to Texas. Interesting news here. T.O., I can't believe we're going to talk about him, but we are going to talk about it because this T.O. was released from his indoor football team for, quote, not being able, the players didn't tolerate him, it was too obnoxious, and they also told him he wasn't an owner of a team. They got rid of his stake. So is this a surprise? Is this something that we should have expected when we heard that T.O. is going to play for the Indoor Football League in Texas?
Oh, Lord. I got to tell you, I think that this is a sideshow. This is one clown short of a circus at this point. I mean, anything that I read about Terrell is just, in a way, it's sad because here's a guy with tremendous athletic ability, but he just couldn't get his head around what it was to be involved in a team sport because and the funny thing is that when he was on the different teams, San Francisco and Dallas and all the different teams, Philadelphia that he played for, there are a lot of people in the locker room who liked him. A lot of the players thought he was a good teammate.
Right.
But he just could never quite adjust to the league, and it's a shame that that it's ending this way, that it's become a circus. It's very much like, in many ways, like the downfalling of guys like Jose Canseco and folks like that who ended up playing baseball in in the independent leagues and places like that, where you sit there and go, can't they just give it up? And unfortunately for Terrell, he can't.
Yeah.
And so you see these stories, and they're bizarre, and in some regards they're funny, and at the end of the day, it really does.
You with us, Jim?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. We lost you for a second. As you mentioned, Jose Canseco, I just saw a YouTube video of him playing in the independent league against the Newark Bears. I forget what team he's on, but he struck out twice. The person who took the YouTube video is screaming, steroids. So, you made a great point there. I want to now go to baseball and talk about suddenly the hottest team in baseball, the Anaheim Angels, or Los Angeles Anaheim Angels. 8 in a row, I believe. And Pujols finally starting to be Pujols. So, Jim, I remember you saying on our show it was just a matter of time. I think you also said the Angels would click eventually, and they'd be more competitive to the Rangers and not be this team that was 10 games under 500. So what are your thoughts on the Angels coming back to life?
Well, there's too much talent on the team for them not to play better. And, you just knew that sometimes when you get the big contracts, guys push, and Albert Pujols, even though he's Albert Pujols, is human, and you sign a contract for $250+ million, it does weigh on you that you've got to produce. And once he got it out of his head that that he didn't have to carry the team himself, that there are other guys on the team that could help, that they fell into it. I think the real thing that is at this point distressing is the Jared Weaver situation. I think we'll have to find out how that injury plays out. But I think that they will challenge Texas. I still think Texas is a better team, but Texas and Anaheim should have Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim as the official name, as they should call them. So, they should have a good season, and the two of them should have a fun time come late August and early September as they head for the pennant chase.
Yeah, and Jim, you look at this winning streak, and if they continue their ways of losing, you could say that they'd be done. Even with this 8-game winning streak, Texas is rolling. They're still 6 games out from Texas. So if they only go 500 in their last 10 games, or 3-7, this team could be 8 games out, 9 games out. So this was very, very important for the Angels. They have a great manager in Mike Scioscia, who seems like he's been there forever. And he wasn't going to give up. Of course, the Rangers, Yu Darvish has done a spectacular job in absence of Wilson, who of course went to the Angels. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I want to move now to the NL East, which is becoming the new AL East. They're very similar in records and teams. And so let's start with the Braves, who have just really, I think, 3 out of their last 11 they've won. They're suddenly right in the bottom with the Phillies, but at the same time, 3 games out. So Phillies, Braves, they're both 3-4 games out. They haven't played well of late, but is that a good sign for them that they are playing so poorly and they're still able to be in the hunt?
Well, I think if you look at the division, okay, and this is the division I'm actually very, very familiar with.
Right.
Everybody in that division is hurt.
Yes.
The Nationals are still in first place, but they've got 4 guys on the disabled list, including 2 catchers, the first 2 catchers. You've got that situation. You've got you have a couple of guys, Freddie Freeman, who is suffering from a really weird situation in such that his eyes can't make tears. And so he's actually losing his vision in his eye. It's very difficult for him to pick the ball up. It's so dangerous at this point that he hasn't even picked the bat up because they're afraid he might, hurt himself trying to take batting practice. So there's a number of different ailments in Atlanta, in Washington, and in Philadelphia. But, the key is to keep moving forward. And, with the Marlins and their situation, it's just a matter, in their regard, of consistent play. I mean, they're a very streaky team, and we'll have to see how that plays out. But it should be a fun season throughout the rest of the season as we go forward, watching the National League East and for that matter the American League East, as we see how things play out, because the Nationals have the best pitching in the division. You've got David Wright, who's hitting over 400 for the Mets and keeping them, relevant. You've got the Marlins playing streaky ball where they'll win 5 games and lose 5 games, and crazy things going on there. You got the Braves and the Phillies trying to get better. Halladay is saying that he's okay, but he had a short outing the last time out. I saw him pitch about a week or so ago against the Nationals, and they just raked him for about 4 runs in the first couple innings. He didn't look like he was throwing well. So it's going to be a crazy situation throughout the season, and one that'll be very entertaining for everybody in the East, because I don't see anybody running away with it, but I also don't see anybody getting too terribly far behind.
Right, and Jim, I was just going to go with you to the AL East. Great stuff there. A very, very competitive division. It's so weird to see the Yankees and Red Sox at the bottom. The Orioles, the Rays now have caught them. So, I mean, the Orioles still amazing. I think one of the best records on the road.
Until recently, yes.
Right, and
the Orioles pitching has regressed, and that was something that was a concern. How long could that pitching hold up? And right now, the last 4 games they've averaged, their starting pitchers have averaged lasting a little over 4.2 innings before they get shelled, and that's going to be an interesting situation. That said, what it does do with the Orioles being at least competitive, look, nobody really thinks that the Orioles are going to be there at the end, but what it does do is it gives pause to the Rays, the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays that, there's no easy out here. That means that these guys in the East are going to play 18 games against teams that every night could beat you. And you're not going to take a night off. You don't have that luxury anymore. And so it means that winning the American League East is likely going to mean that the team that finishes second may very well, in the past it's been almost a foregone conclusion that that's been your, de facto wild card team. I don't know that's going to be the case this year.
Right.
It's possible, but these teams are all very good. Good enough. I should say better than that. Good enough. The one team I don't see coming back is I don't see Boston coming back. I've seen that team, and they just don't seem to have enough, enough depth in that. The pitching staff is not solid enough, and they just presently don't seem to be able to play consistent enough baseball. And frankly, I think the choice of Bobby Valentine was a very poor choice as manager.
Right, but Jim, I want to ask you. Let's fast forward to September. The Sox are 5 games out from the playoffs, from the wild card, and suddenly you have a very healthy Ellsbury, you have a healthy Crawford, Ortiz is playing well. Does that not, if you're another team, shouldn't that worry you?
No.
Interesting. All right, could you elaborate on that?
I mean, the point is, first of all, that's fantasy. I mean, you're pitching out there and say, well, you know, what gives you reason to believe that that's going to happen?
Good. I'm playing devil's advocate, Jim.
No. Look, the Red Sox have built themselves a reputation that you should be worried about them every time you play them. Don't get me wrong. I don't disrespect them, okay? There's but what I'm saying is this is a team, and I've seen this team now twice through as they played the Orioles, and I saw them play the Rays the other day. They don't have the swagger about them. They don't have they're a very, I hasten to say old-looking team, but they're just not, they don't have that kind of Red Sox look to them that they have had in the past. I mean, they're very, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the exact words to try to describe it. They're not intimidating. You know, the Red Sox teams in the past intimidated you, and they made you feel like, you know, look, we're going to beat you into submission, and we're going to get this done. That's not the case anymore. They just come into town. They don't look like they believe that they're going to beat you every time that they walk out on the field. And, you know, the situation is that this is a team that I just don't think has arrived to get them there at this point in time. Now, it's a long season, okay? It's a very long season. And what the scenario that you put out there very well happened. And if if that does happen, and all of the stars align and the Red Sox are 5 games out and have a chance, well then, yeah, they should be absolutely. You know, you've got to give them their credit and their due. But, you know, we can only go from what happened last year.
Right.
And last year they tanked. And this year they don't. They look like they have a hangover, no pun intended, from what happened last year. I mean, they just don't look like they have struck. I mean, obviously they've been hurt. They've had some issues in their bullpen. They've had some starting pitching issues. Every team has these issues. It's how well can they bounce back from them, and I just don't see. I see the change at the top with Theo leaving, with Tito Francona leaving, all these guys leaving. I'm not so sure that the Red Sox organization is right now in as good a hands. It's kind of, if I can make the analogy, it's almost like the Lakers. Okay, they're a team that you should be respectful of because they earned that respect. But it's a team that right now is somewhat rudderless. If they can find that rudder and begin to play with that swagger that they had, this time last year, for that matter, perhaps they can get it back. What I'm saying is they don't have that swagger at this point in time. They don't seem to be, to come in and just want to, for the lack of a better way of saying it, come into Baltimore and say, look, there's no way you guys are beating us 2 out of 3. It's not going to happen. To have that kind of attitude, on the field, to know that when they come in here, they're not leaving town without at least 2 wins and perhaps 3. They did that to the Orioles for years. They did it to Toronto for years. It's not that way anymore. Toronto can beat the Red Sox. The Orioles can beat the Red Sox. They can beat them not only in Baltimore, they can beat them on the road. So I think that, and the Red Sox did come in here and win, by the way, 2 out of 3. So, they are, trying to get back into it. But I think until they get that swagger, and I think it's a confidence factor. I think, losing like they did last year was so devastating to the team that I still think there's some doubt in their mind as to what type of team are they. And so until they can get that, feeling back, I think that we can't expect that they're going to be there. And I'm not sure. And Bobby Valentine is, one of these rah-rah, upbeat kind of managers. I'm not sure that was what they needed, as a replacement. He's not a good he's not the kind of a guy who is going to manage his way to a victory. He's, if he's in a chess match with Joe Madden's going to beat him 9 out of 10 times.
Right, and, we'll see what happens, though, Jim. I agree with you about a lot of the stuff you said, but I do think just think of a healthy Pedroia, Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford.
No, look, I'm not, I said you have to respect the team. I'm saying that as of today, okay, and that's all I can go by is as of today, that I don't see that swagger. If they're healthy, okay, and they can start put together some wins, and they can start, putting together a win streak and acting like the Red Sox, then then there's no reason not to believe in them. What I'm saying right now is, as of this day, the 30th day of May,
right,
in 2012, they don't look it.
Right.
Now, that may be different in June 30th, okay?
Okay.
But as of today, they just don't look like the team that, that they've been in the past.
And as they say, time will tell, and we'll examine.
That's like a long season. I mean, we don't crown champions in May.
Absolutely.
That's right. All right, Jim, we have to run, but we certainly appreciate your time here on Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Guys, it's always a pleasure. I thoroughly enjoy it, and you guys always, come up with some fantastic and entertaining debates, and I always enjoy it.
Jim, it's been a pleasure. I just want to let you know next week it's going to be me and you. Ari's not going to be here, so get ready to talk some soccer.
I'm looking for soccer and college basketball.
All right, Jim, sounds good.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to see the United States and Brazil in a friendly tonight.
Oh, wow. That's I'm going to try and stay up and watch that. I heard it's going to be huge.
Well, it should be fun. We'll see.
All right,
Jim. Be well. Enjoy the game.
All right, guys. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, that was Jim Williams from the Washington Examiner. We're going to take a break. On the other side, comedian Lori Brownstone is going to talk about the NHL Finals. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.israelgym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJing parties throughout Israel. Birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event to the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
All right, now we're back here on Louis Live, final segment here on the program. It's been a great show so far. We're happy to continue it going in a bonus segment here. We're going to dial up right now Lori Brownstone. She's a comedian, originally out of did a lot of comedy work, in Tucson, Arizona, and now she is in New York, so it's noon her time. So we're going to dial her up right now, talk about the NHL Finals, which gets ready tonight, actually. So it's good stuff. It's going to be a little bit ahead of the NBA Finals. There'll be a few games ahead. And we're, again, very excited. By the way, want to tell everyone to check out our store by clicking on the store tab on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Again, we sell a lot of great stuff, shirts, hats. We also have a candle section, or candle holder section, I should say. We have great stuff, so check it out. Also, IFL apparel as well, the Haifa Underdog shirts. Love Haifa, so check out the store. You can buy some Haifa stuff. All right, let's get it going. We're going to dial up our guest, and she's a very funny woman. We've had her on the program several times, and there's a great YouTube side of that as well. If you go to Israel Sports Radio, check out our YouTube page, and type in Lori Brownstone, you can check out our last interview here. So here we go, dialing up. Again, you're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here on a beautiful Wednesday in Jerusalem, Israel, our Holy Land.
Hello.
Hey, Lori, you're live on Louis Live on Israel Sports Radio. How you doing out there?
I'm okay. I'm just waking up, so I'm grabbing my coffee. I'm talking to you right now. This is what happens when you wake up comedians at noon.
Yeah, is noon really too late for you?
It's too early for me, yeah, but that's okay. Anything for you, Ari.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And certainly something that will wake you up is hockey, because you're obviously you're much bigger a hockey fan than I am. And here we are at the finals tonight.
Well, yeah, I'm really excited about it. Actually, I was here during the Eastern Finals when the Rangers played the Devils. It was awesome. Can't tell you how many times I was caught at Penn Station at Madison Square Garden, and I was stuck there with all the fans racing off, and they're kind of brutal, They were, yelling at each other, screaming at each other. It was nice, because coming from Arizona, people don't care about hockey, so it's nice to be here.
Well, people in Arizona, don't really seem to care about anything, so to see some enthusiasm from a human being was probably nice in New York City.
It was nice, but it's still, it's like 80, 85 degrees here. What are we doing playing hockey still? The season should have ended in April, but that's beside the point. It's really exciting to be here during this time. As a matter of fact, the game, I'm staying with friends in Jersey till I secure an apartment in the city, and I'd say the game's about 5 miles away from where I'm staying. So
wow.
It's really exciting. There's people on the streets here that have devil signs everywhere, although I was more of a Rangers fan. Unfortunately, they didn't make it, but everybody here is talking hockey. People are walking around in jerseys. It's kind of exciting to be around a real hockey town.
Talk about the Rangers loss, because I have a friend, Ari Schneider, who's just he lives here in Israel. He's a huge Rangers fan. He's devastated, but I've said, kind of look at the positive of it. Let's look at the sunlight that the Rangers had a great run, went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Is the city devastated by the Rangers loss, or do they look at it as a successful season because of where they went to?
No, they're devastated. devastated. There's people lying in the streets still crying. They're taking their jersey sweaters. They're plopping it down in the middle of the subway. No, it was really upsetting. I know a lot of people here. I'm a little bit of a Rangers fan. My friends here were absolutely devastated. Matter of fact, I went to a Rangers party when they actually won that game, and an earlier game, and when they lost it, it was just, I got so many texts and emails from people and with explicit words that I can't say on the air right now. That's like just horrible. I mean, they were really confident. I mean, first place here, the Eastern Conference. I mean, they thought the Rangers were going to go all the way. This was the year for them to take it.
Right. A lot of people compared it to the 94 year, but I always said I think the Rangers' struggles were they went to 7 games in the first and second round, and I just think they ran out of gas. In 94, they were able to get a sweep in the first round. I think that was the difference in my opinion. Did you get a feeling that the Rangers were just a little bit tired against the Devils?
You know what? I don't know if they were tired against the Devils or the Devils, when they came out, almost every first period of the Devils' play was bam, bam, just hammering at the Rangers. I mean, eventually the Devils kind of lost their steam, and of course the Rangers came back in the second and rallied in the second and third periods to sometimes win and tie. But I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for the Rangers goalie, I think the season, I think it would have been over in 4 or 5 games.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I think I saw almost all of those games, and the Devils were just hammering the Rangers at the beginning of every single game.
Okay, so you thought they got a little bit tired?
I think you know what? Honestly, I think when it gets this late, I think the Rangers were tired, but I think they were tired because of the hammering that they took in the first period by the Devils almost every single game. And it was a really weird series, too, because it was almost like the first team that scored was the team that won the game in almost all scenarios. You know, it was 3-0, it was 2-0, it was 4-1. It was just kind of, it was almost like the first team that scored won the game, and there was no coming back. So, I mean, it kind of broke my heart to see it, not that much, but yeah, I had people here who were devastated. And I know a lot of Rangers fans that are like going to boycott the finals now because they're really upset that their beloved Rangers didn't get in.
Oh, only a New York Rangers fan would do that, boycott the entire finals. That's funny. By the way, before we continue with hockey, I was looking at your Facebook earlier, and you talked about you couldn't sleep. It's 3 a.m. Tebow was practicing right around where you live in the same town. Tell us about that.
Yes. I am staying in Florham Park, New Jersey with friends. Really great friends of mine while I'm looking to move into my own place in the city. And I'm not sure of the towns here because I get them a little bit mixed up, but I think Tebow's here. He's practicing around here, and I think there's like a family event day coming up this weekend where Tebow's going to be hanging and fans can go. I'm not a huge football fan, but yet I am going to try to get a glimpse of Tebow, which I think he's like 1 mile away from where I'm staying, maybe even closer than that. And I think the house he's renting here is about, I don't know, a 2-minute car ride away from me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's kind of weird.
Are you going to be one of those ladies that tries to break Tebow? Can they have that $1 million if someone can prove Tebow is, not to his faith?
Oh, come on! I'm a middle-aged Jewish fat woman. I'm going to be all over that Tebow. I'm going to pin him down, and I'm going to check that out myself. I mean, I think he's just lying in bed at night going, you know what? I wish there was somebody like Lori. I want her. So I think I'm going to be able to, I think I'll have my shot with him. I really do. So if I destroy his season with the Jets next year, I guess it's going to be my fault.
Well, yeah, but the Giants fans might pay you a lot of money because you did that, or who knows? Some team will be, the Patriots fans. Raphael's a big Patriots fan, and they might be happy with the Jets going down. So you get some fans at the end of the day anyway.
Maybe. You know what I really want to do is pose a picture with him. I want to put my arm around his left calf and pose a picture with him because that's how tall I am with him. And I put it on Facebook so all of my, younger friends can, ooh and ah and drool and me with Tebow. So those are my intentions anyway. Or at least get him to sign something and then sell it because, you know how broke comics are.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in autographs. And the fans want to know because you were out of Tucson, Arizona, did Laughs Comedy Club, and now you're in New York. So you're looking to progress more opportunities basically for comedy in New York. The fans want to know basically why the move.
Yeah, all of my fans. You mean you want to ask? Let's see. You know what? Last kid left the house. I'm like, Tucson's wonderful. Love Tucson. Love my home club, Laughs. Looking forward to getting the book back in there and going in there maybe in about the beginning of next year. But actually, my thing is, I just want to have fun in life, and I know some friends in New York, and I just thought it would be fun to come here and live for a while. I decided between New York and LA, I just thought it'd be fun to move out here. And if I like it, great. If I don't, I'll probably go to LA. There is a lot more opportunity here, a lot more clubs here. I did a great show in Connecticut with a friend of mine, and I'm hoping to do a lot more. And once I get settled in the city, I'm hoping to be able to get into that lineup where I can do a laundromat at 2 a.m. because that's basically where I'm starting out. I'm starting out as the tiniest fish in the world in New York. So, I just think it'll be a lot of fun at my age. And be on hockey more.
Yes, well, yeah, certainly a lot more sports opportunities to watch more hockey games, and also, of course, close to Israel, just one flight now instead of two. Look at it that way.
One of these days, Ari, I'm going to hop a flight, I'm going to come there, I'm going to show up, and you'll have to interview me live.
Right, it'll be in
studio.
That's the plan.
That's my dream. Hey, and it's a quick plane ride for you to come here as well. Now, don't forget that.
That's right. Also, one flight the other way. It's true. Okay, let's get the NHL Finals because there's a lot of great stuff to talk about. The Devils are going to – this is their 5th appearance in the Finals, and in about 15 years, they're going to try to win their 4th cup. This could be the last run for Marty Brodeur, who's 40 years old and a legendary goalie. And the Kings, on the other hand, haven't been to the Finals since 1993 when they lost – to the Canadians. That was when Wayne Gretzky was on the team in 93. So give us kind of your breakdown of this weird setup. We have a 6-seeded Devils versus the 8-seeded Canes in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, I have to tell you that it's the first time, if the LA Kings win, it will be the first time that an 8-seeded team, I believe, has ever won an NHL game, an NHL final. So that'll be interesting. If I have to give my predictions, I think it's going to be a goalie thing. I think it's going to be a complete whoever plays the best. I think that'll win it. Nothing like my mother calling me when I'm on the radio. Hope you didn't hear that. Okay, and you know what it is. If I have to give a prediction, as much as I'm not a huge fan of the LA Kings, I have to say I think the LA Kings are going to take it in 6. That's my prediction. I think they're playing almost perfect hockey. They shut down defenses, and they have a lot of players contributing offensively, and they've got incredible goaltending and Quick. Brodeur is fantastic. He's 40 years old, but you know what? Jonathan Quick is fabulous. He's a contender for the Conn Smythe Trophy, and and I think Brown has been one of the best players for LA, and they've got a really strong second line with Richard, Penner, Carter. I think they're actually deeper top to bottom than the Devils are. That's not to say the Devils aren't going to give them a run for their money, because I think they are. I think they are definitely. I think they've got some fantastic players as well, and I don't see the LA Kings running away with it, but I think they're going to take it.
Oh, LA is certainly the hotter team because they they won the first round in 5 games and then swept the Blues and then beat the Coyotes in 5 games. So they've only lost 2 playoff games so far, and the Devils have gotten to 7 games in the first round, 5 and then 6. So they're probably a little bit more tired. I think one of the big questions we want to know, if the Kings win, I don't think the question is, will LA riot, but how long and how far? Because if Vancouver rioted, a little small city like Vancouver, when they lose, you're supposed to riot when you win. I imagine LA will riot in style.
I think they will riot in style, but they'll also play in style too. I think you're going to see a lot of celebrities at the game. Celebrities who are not really into hockey, all of a sudden they're going to come out to be seen. I think you're going to see that. So if you watch the games, I'm sure they're going to go to the stands, and you're going to see a lot of that. I really do.
Yeah.
I think LA's never won it. I'm not a huge fan of LA. I'm more of a Devils fan, especially here being on the East Coast. I have to say that, or the people on Stings will kick me out of the house because they're in Jersey. But I really think that it's LA's time, even though they're an 8-seeded team. I mean, look at their road work. They have won. They did not lost on the road, I believe. And they took, they're like 8-0 on the road. So I'm really curious to what's happening tonight, what's going to happen tonight. I'm excited about it. I think this first game will tell. I think if the Devils win, maybe my prediction will be wrong if the Devils win tonight. But if LA wins tonight, I think I'm going to be right on.
Do you think maybe they should consider change up the playoff format because we have an 8-seed versus a 6-seed? It's kind of like the regular season doesn't matter. Or, I mean, the Stanley Cup playoffs, in my opinion, are the best playoffs of all the 4 sports. So do you like it the way it is, that you could have potentially an 8-seed versus a 6-seed?
I do, because I think a lot of players shine in the finals, a lot of goalies. I really think it's going to depend on the goalies a lot. A goalie gets hot, the team gets better. There's a lot of energy. They kill off some penalties. They win the game. I just think it's fine the way that it is. I mean, yeah, I'm disappointed. Hey, I'm disappointed that my Chicago Blackhawks couldn't make it past the first round against the former Winnipeg Jets, the Phoenix Coyotes. Which, by the way, brings me to another thing. I give you a prediction that the Jets would only win about 10 games. They didn't. They won a heck of a lot more games. So even though it's the first season for the Winnipeg Jets, which is where I was born and raised, I am proud of them. So I just had to add that in. I know, Ari, we're not talking about Winnipeg, but I had to add that in.
No, you can always mention Winnipeg. And also, speaking of the Phoenix Coyotes, now there's a good chance that they might be saved and stay in Phoenix, because there was talk. Of course, they're not owned right now. The NHL owns them, but they made that run to the Western Conference Finals. So do you think that they'll end up staying in Phoenix?
Yeah, I have no idea. One would think because of how well they did this year, but bottom line is money. I mean, it's a business. If they get an offer to sell it, I forget who's looking at them. I think maybe Seattle's looking at them. A couple other people. I think they'll go. It's a shame. I think, yes, desert, what the heck? Why is there a hockey team there? But there's so many snowbirds there, and so many people from New York, Chicago, Minneapolis, who are living in the Phoenix area right now. I think they support the hockey, and they'll be very disappointed if the team moves.
All right, now let's talk about playoff beards. This is a funny story here I saw at Yahoo. But who has?
Now, you're talking about beards on the face, aren't you? Because that could be a totally different conversation.
Yeah, no, beards on the face, yes. Some of these guys don't even have beards. Let's see here. Zach Praise doesn't. Parise. Matt Green doesn't.
Parisi doesn't have one, I believe. But a lot of them do. Yeah, it's just the Stanley Cup tradition, playoffs. I think other sports have it too. You don't shave, and you don't put your teeth in either. I noticed when they had the media day here yesterday, a lot of them didn't put their teeth in.
And it looks like that Dustin Penner has the best beard of these pictures I've seen. Is there another guy?
I think so too.
Anze Kopitar also has a nice one, but it's not as Dustin Penner by far is the best. Is the biggest.
You know what? I agree. I'm totally in agreement with you. Long, fluffy. What can you say about the beard? You don't recognize them postseason because they all shave it off and they go fishing or golf. So, but I think it's a great tradition to do that. And yes, I look forward to seeing their beards sticking down. It's very, they're almost like mini rabbis skating back and forth. It could be a Jewish team for all we know,
Yeah, and maybe that's where the custom originated from, why they think it's good luck to not shave their beards, because
I'm sure it did. Hey, just for people who don't know about, just a little bit of Stanley Cup history, it's Lord Stanley's Cup. I believe this is the only major national sports league that actually doesn't create its own cup every year. It's the same cup. It travels, and it's from place to place every year. They just add in more bands, and they engrave every single name of the player on every team, the coach, and everything. So the Stanley Cup, when you guys, watch it and see it hoisted up in the tradition by the captain, whoever wins the series, it's got a long legacy, and it is the same cup that started, I believe, in the early 1900s. So, it's just a little bit of Stanley Cup trivia for your fans, Ari.
Yes, and the people, of course, the winners of the team, the current year, they get to take the Stanley Cup to different places. If you won the Stanley Cup, where would you take the Stanley Cup?
I would take it to my bathroom, definitely. That would be the place I would take. Oh, you mean outside of my house?
Right, that's
what I would probably take it to, if I won the Stanley Cup, I would probably take it to let's see, where would I take it? I would take it to all of my ex-boyfriends' places and go, nah. That's what I would do.
Nice, I like that.
Because that's just the kind of person I am. But you know what where I would also take it, Ari? Because you guys are so great, I would take it to Jerusalem and hand it to you.
Oh, wow. Yes, I've never been close to Stanley Cup, but that would be the closest. Actually, I wonder if these guys ever take it to their ex-girlfriends in front of their houses and say, nah. Could be
that's the first place I would go, really. That is the first place that I would take it. And I think they all should. But, It's a tradition. It's great. I tell you, when I was growing up and there was just, about a dozen teams, yes, I'm older, I never really thought that hockey would last until June. And I think that's, earlier I was complaining about it. Now, you know what? I think it's great. The longer the season, the better. And if we can just get Tebow on a pair of ice skates and put a hockey skate in his hand, I'll be happy.
Well, he has Jesus with him. He could probably do it if he really wanted to.
Just, lure him over to Bethlehem. That's all I can say, Ari.
Well, if he's talking about Jesus, New York City might not be the best place for it with all those Jews there. You think the Jews will kind of give him a break on all that Jesus stuff?
As long as he plays well, everybody will give him a break on absolutely everything.
That's for sure. Right? Winning will solve all these problems.
Absolutely.
All right, Lori, before we let you go, give everyone a plug now because Laughs Comedy Club in Tucson is your home club, but what clubs are you looking for to perform in New York so people can see you out on the East Coast?
Well, ironically enough, I haven't said anything on the East Coast, but I'll be in touch I'll be in Oklahoma and Kansas later on in June, and then I'll be in the Midwest. I come here, and then I end up leaving to go on the road. So I'll have to keep you posted online, Ari. There's a couple of clubs here, but they're kind of iffy right now. I'm waiting for some club dates on the East Coast, so we'll have to suffice with the Midwest for right now, and then in Oklahoma and Kansas. So those are my only plugs. And plugs, if you are in Tucson, best local comedy club, only comedy club there is Laughs Tucson, and that's my home club, and I'm looking forward to going back there to perform. It's a great club. If you're in Arizona, you got to check it out.
Any USO shows in the future that you plan on doing, like you've done in the past?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I threw my name in the hat to go to Afghanistan, so I'm hoping that'll happen within the next 6 or 8 months. And I also threw my name in the hat to go a couple other places too. So I'm hoping that'll happen. As you know, Ari, I got a great opportunity to go over to Kuwait and Iraq, and I'm hoping to go to hopefully back to Kuwait and then to hopefully Afghanistan. So any way I can support the troops over here, I try to do it.
I heard a great joke earlier today that when the U.S. invaded Afghanistan in fall of 2001, they went to the last shul there. They're like the last 2 Jews of Afghanistan during Hanukkah, and they both were lighting a menorah on the other side of the shul. They refused to talk to each other because even with the last 2 Jews of Afghanistan.
Well, Jews have to keep that inside of them forever, right?
Right. And I think one of his named Shlomo, and they asked him about it, and he said, I've been through the Taliban and this and that and all that stuff, but this guy over here, he's just the worst person ever. So the Jews still were fighting against each other in Afghanistan, even though there was 2 of them. So maybe you'll see that when you go. I don't know. It was weird stuff.
Hey, I think they're members of my family, Ari. I'm pretty sure about that.
And also, before I forget, everyone listening, Lori has a YouTube video of her. She was an extra in a Star Wars movie, so check that out. And she has a YouTube video of being on Israel Sports Radio because we had Mike the intern put that up a couple months ago. So you type in Lori Brownstone Israel Sports Radio, that'll come up. So how does that feel? You have a couple YouTube videos.
Absolutely. Hey, and don't forget about it's Star Trek, not Star Wars. You got to go with the original.
That's right, Star Trek. That's right, my bad. Sorry. Yes, it's a good story of how you made an extra in Star Trek. So everyone should check out those videos. Lori, we certainly appreciate your time here on Louis Live at Israel Sports Radio. And let's keep in touch about all the comedy club updates, and so we can let all the fans know.
I will, Ari, and thanks for having me. And you're my favorite Israel Sports Radio station. I got to tell you, you're the best.
Thank you. Yes, we appreciate it. All right, Lori, be well.
All right, you too. Thanks, and watch the hockey games, Ari.
Yes, it's going to be great stuff. NHL Finals tonight, right. Game 1. All right, Lori, be well.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Lori Brownstone.
That was pretty funny. I was listening to that, of course.
Yeah, she's very talented.
That was, she kind of gave us a show, in a way, you could say.
Well,
right?
Yeah. Well, she's a professional. She's a professional comedian. And as I mentioned, performing the USO shows, so she was able to entertain the troops in Afghanistan, so it's pretty impressive stuff. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll wrap things up. Thanks to Lori Brownstone for coming on Louis Live. You're listening to Louis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Talk Network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Body and Soul Gym in the heart of Talpiot. Great machines, excellent staff, and wonderful classes such as Pilates, yoga, and kickboxing. Give them a call at 02-678-8861. Once again, that's 02-678-8861. www.body-soul.co.il. Once again, that's www.body-soul.co.il. That's Body and Soul in the heart of Talpiot, which is great for your body and your soul.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Shutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJing parties throughout Israel. Birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music, and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Louis Live, we're going to wrap up the program, but before we do, Raphael is going to give us some show. I knew I was going to script that word. Some preview of the upcoming shows in the future.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow we're going to have Zach Rosen on, a really huge name now in the Jewish community. Went to Penn, actually outplayed Jeremy Lin there. He hired Leon Rose as his agent. Leon Rose represented the top players in the NBA. He's right now trying to get either drafted in the NBA or make a team in the minicamp. If not, we're going to talk to him about the prospect of paying for Maccabi Tel Aviv because I know they're interested. And we might be having on a very, very special guest, Upton Bell, who for me will be a very special treat because he was the first general manager of the Patriots. We're still waiting to hear some confirmation with him. Gina Pitts from Atlanta. Brent Weber will be on tomorrow. He's another media guy. Eitan Schneider, I believe, from Philadelphia, the Fanatic, the biggest sports station there. So tomorrow will be a great show. Unfortunately, Ari Louis will be gone next week, and you'll be stuck with me.
For the second hours.
For the second hours, that's true. I forgot about that. Next week, we have an amazing show on my birthday. I'm not going to reveal how old I'm going to be, but it will be my birthday. Larry Rosen, the vice president of the Baltimore Ravens. Jason Stark from ESPN.com. He's MLB senior writer. Bruce Jacobs is a hilarious guy. I have in my calendar Alex, but I'm not really sure who that is, but we'll let you know. Andrea from Italy, he's a Eurobasket writer. Wednesday we have some guests, and next Thursday we're going to have Henry Lawrence, who former Pro Bowler with the Oakland Raiders, Super Bowl winner with the Oakland Raiders. Avi Creditor and Zach Lee Rigg, both soccer reporters, and Frank Trigg, who's a huge on ESPN Radio's syndicated MMA show. And going to work on booking the guests a little bit more for the next upcoming weeks. But it should be a great show next Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be a wonderful show. Again, Larry Rosen, Jason Stark, Bruce Jacobs. So stay with us, and I'll let Ari take it away.
All right, and we want to thank everyone for coming on today's show. It was a great, great show. Andy Gershman, author of Modern Day Maccabees, who has not seen The Sopranos, believe it or not.
That's a shame.
It's really a shame.
Spent, Ari, 45 minutes discussing The Sopranos today?
Yeah, but... Yes, in the green room.
Yeah.
Maccabi Tel Aviv legend and current assistant coach Derek Sharp, who has a steakhouse out in Tel Aviv. We didn't ask
Check it out, Sharp and Shine.
Sharp and Shine.
Check it out, even if it's not.
You can get a water or something.
Get what you want, right.
If it's not
we'll leave it up to you. We'll leave it up to you.
Or if you're not Jewish, you can eat whatever you want anyway. Newsday senior sports editor Michael Rose, who was able to come with us after the fire drill.
Right. Thank God he's okay.
And said he's not in high school and had a fire drill. So I have nostalgia of that.
It happens.
Seven-time Emmy Award winner Jim Williams, who came on the program and did, at the end of the day, discuss college basketball.
At the end of the day.
So that's always going to happen. And, of course, Lori Brownstone, comedian who performs out of Laughs Comedy Club in Tucson, performed some USO shows and performed on this show. She was very, very funny and discussing the NHL Finals. So great, great stuff from Lori. Thank her for coming on the program. Stay tuned for some great programming later on in the weekend next week. But that's it for tonight. God bless and good night.